little bit of AEW, not a lot. Just enough to remind me why I don't watch it. Oh, this is already funny. Just the headline. The list of moves and actions that are now banned from AEW or need to be approved by the company.
Maybe that's why Nash is pissed off, because he went for Brock and Austin and not try to duplicate him.
Well, it'd be easier to duplicate him. You only have to learn 5 moves.
Like you said, and we've all been saying, Tony Khan, you need a hierarchy, and he gets one, and then we make fun of it.
Because he's sitting back there talking about the Brock match, and finally we had a wrestling match. Finally we got 2 guys telling a story. They weren't outside in the ring the whole time. One of them
was he not watching the same match as we were?
Yeah, those games, man, I would say, like, for me, like, the best ones, I would say, are, like, the ones where they try to get a certain, like, time.
This is my entire IT team right here on screen. Everybody.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's WrestleChat with WrestleChat.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I know it's been a long time. It's been at least 2 weeks since we've done one of these. I haven't done much of the other stuff on the channel either. I'll catch you guys up in a nutshell. I don't want to drag it all out, but a lot of you already have been aware. I try to let you guys know a little bit about what's going on in the world over here. And my girlfriend had been dealing with this condo thing. And by the way, fuck you, YouTube. For those of you watching this, I highly suggest you jump on the link that'll be up here in just a moment where you can watch us on Twitter. Or Twitch, I beg your pardon, Twitch. It's just better, okay? Because YouTube's a bunch of assholes, and every day at 5:30, for some fucking reason, they can't seem to support a stream. And it's nothing on my end. Everything I've got going on is doing what it's supposed to do. It's definitely on their end. So anyway, last time I was on, I was discussing what was going on with my girlfriend's situation with her condo here in Florida, and it cut off. YouTube dropped me in the middle of that discussion. So here's what was going on. Here's what went down. And that is that because of that collapse, some of you may have heard of it. If you're outside of the state of Florida, it was national news. There was a condo that collapsed in Miami a couple of years ago. And due to that, the Florida government passed some new requirements of all condo complexes, safety regulations, inspections, that sort of thing. While I'm all for safety and inspections and making sure things are the way they need to be, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. The fact of the matter is the problem was the folks in Miami who own that property, not the property owners, but the actual people who own the land and the structure were well aware of all the problems and did nothing about it. Matter of fact, my understanding is the top dog in that organization is already in prison, I believe. And that's how you deal with that. You don't punish every other condo owner in the state of Florida, which is what's happening, because now the state of Florida is requiring so much more to be done that it costs, of course, money. And that's when the HOAs come in. Now, here's the difference. All of the HOAs have gone up drastically in Florida. And by drastically, I'm talking about if they were $200 a month, and that's on top of your mortgage, right? So if you were paying $200 and let's say $250 a month, it went up to almost $400. Now, in the overall scheme of things, that might not be a huge amount of money, but it is money. And you have to remember, in Florida, most of the condo owners are retirees or on a fixed income. They don't have that money. And with HOAs, because they're the shittiest human beings in the face of the earth, next to lawyers, but they're right up there. They're in the race. They will take your property away just like that. I mean, if your grass isn't the right height, they'll take your property away. So imagine if you're not paying the HOA fees. Well, with her complex, they went above and beyond. They went from $450 a month to $800 a month. And that happened only because they all, as owners, got together and said no when they proposed, hey, we have somebody who wants to buy the whole property outright and turn it into apartment complexes, and they're making you this offer for your properties. And they all said, no, we're staying in our place. We're not moving out. So to punish them for costing them money on that sale, they went up to $800 a month. They won't, of course, admit that's what happened, but boy, it happened awfully quickly. Now, that didn't kick people out. So now, all of a sudden, they came up with $2,000 a month is what it's going to go up to. But before we get to that, you're going to have to come up with $20,000 in the next 60 days. Like anyone has that just sitting around burning a hole in their pocket. So now everyone in this complex, and it's only this one complex. That's the thing to keep in mind. Everyone here, the news is out there. A lot of us are calling Tallahassee, burning up the governor's hotline, which of course he never responded, never even got out on a podium and mentioned, hey, I'm aware of what's happening. We are looking into it. Nothing. So fuck you, DeSantis. Fuck you. I voted for you twice, but fuck you. Because you're the one that signed all these things in. And for you not to stand up and do anything about it publicly, shame on you. Shame on you. Moving on, they ended up coming up with a vote to remove all the board of directors. Everyone, they've got a lawyer. Everyone said that the board of directors is going to have to bring it into the meeting, which wasn't being held publicly, and they have to address it. That they're not likely going to vote themselves out, but they'll have to acknowledge it. To everyone's shock and surprise, they accepted it and left and ran like thieves in the night. So now they have a board of directors in there that are all owners of properties or condos on this property. That's good, but you still have to make all these reparations. You still have to come up with all this money. But at least you have people in there now that are trying to find a way to bring that number down to something manageable. That all said, she still can't come up with the kind of money they're probably going to be looking at. But the good news, I hope, is she'll at least be able to turn around and sell the place again, which she was already trying to. But when people would see $800 a month for HOA, which is the highest by far anywhere in Central Florida, and then to find out that they might have to come up with $20,000 because it's complete disclosure, you can't not tell people, they all said, no, not a chance. So even though it's a $200,000 property 5 months ago, at $145,000, nobody will touch it. But now that they hopefully have worked some of that crap out, maybe she'll be able to sell it for $165 in a hurry because she's got no choice. She can't pay $800 a month. She doesn't have that. And that's the best case scenario. So we're still dealing with that shit. Thank you, YouTube, for cutting me off, you fuckers. All right, now we can get into wrestling. I just wanted to catch you up on why you haven't seen much of me and I haven't been doing much, and I'm probably still going to be in that boat for a little while yet, but I managed to scratch out a little bit of time here. I just wanted to get on, say hi to everybody, including my buddy, my partner in crime, the one and only J-Rocks. Hello, Jay.
Yeah, hello, Jay. Yeah, we've been hit or miss here recently, but you've had a lot going on, like you just said. I've had some stuff going on my end, so it is what it is. Life keeps rolling.
Archie Bunker said it best. Hey, Lord, I know that the world got to turn, but does it always got to lean on me?
Yep.
From the 70s, I remember that shit. And that's
right
before I understood what he meant.
Well, see, that's like I was just telling you in the text, you saying I was just getting out of the doctor's office. I've had issues with this right shoulder here recently. Went in, no breaks or anything in it, but they went ahead and said there's a lot of inflammation and stuff in it, so I had to get a cortisone shot. Those bitches ain't fun.
I had one on my wrist once.
Yeah, so hopefully I go back and forth. Oh, I'm sure it will, but that fucking, it's not nice being put in. But hopefully in 4 weeks when I go back and see him, the inflammation will be down and I'll be good. If not, then next round will be MRIs and see if there's a tear or something in there. So,
well, yeah, I mean, not for nothing, man. I told you don't try and slam Strowman.
What can I say? The fucker called me out.
Smart man would have walked away, but that's all right. Nobody's accusing you of being smart. Let's see what's happening.
I've said that for years.
Retro's in the house. Andrew Roberts is here. Neil Hooper, slow ahead if you please. Who else we got? Night in 1993. What's happening, man? Just want to see if there's anybody I'm missing before we move forward with this thing. Judd's here. Hello, Judd. And Keith O'Toole.
Yep. And
all
Kevin.
Right. Kevin snuck in there. Did I miss him? Oh,
yep.
Kevin.
Right above
Kevin Davis. I missed you. Sorry, buddy.
Yep.
All right. So basically, we're going to catch up on the news that happened over, I guess, the last 2 weeks now, because that's how long it's been since we've done one of these. We're gonna bullet point some of the old stuff because it's old. From the WWE, Gable Stevenson and Drew Gulak are gone. Gable Stevenson, I mean, come on, man. You could just see from the very first time they ever introduced him on SmackDown, right after he won the Olympic thing, man, there was just no reaction to him, and he has zero charisma and personality. So no surprise there. Drew Gulak, you can say what you want about what reason they may or may not have had for that. What were they doing with him, really?
Nothing. They had him
he was
a
a
leader
trainer,
of a
and there's a
group
value in
NXT.
that, but they got a lot of trainers.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But I think the group will be better off in NXT without him personally, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. One of the more disappointing things, and I really wanted to get on the next day when this thing broke, for me personally, is that I am now, I believe, an island unto my own. I don't know if there's anyone left with me, and I don't care. I will die on this hill because fucking Jim Cornette, who I normally respect greatly when it comes to wrestling, nothing else that comes out of his mouth but wrestling, has decided that he likes Samantha Irvin. Have you heard this shit?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. As soon as I saw him say that, I was like, oh, this is going to be good for Vince.
I'm like, what the fuck, man? Everything you have always said about her, which is exactly how I felt, and now you're okay with it? She's part of the show. No, that's a problem. She ain't supposed to be. Lillian Garcia came out and reminded everyone that's how you do it, and you're not part of the show.
Right.
You're introducing the next act. So I'm going to stay on that hill. Again, I think she's probably a sweet person. I'm sure if I met her, I would have a great conversation and be very enamored with her. But as a ring announcer, she drives me out of my mind. Can't stand her from that standpoint and that standpoint alone. All right, another exit. And this one, I don't know how. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, he's on a Legends deal. What the fuck else you gonna? He's in your video game. He died on your damn TV show and came back.
The only thing I could think of is health reasons, but still, I mean, not to have him there in some sort of talent scouting capacity just blows my mind.
Him on the as a Legends deal is what I'm saying. I mean,
right?
He's still part of the company. Then you're not releasing him.
Yeah. Right.
Bret Hart's on a Legends deal. They didn't fire his ass.
Maybe he didn't want to be on a Legends deal. Maybe he does want to fully step away for a while. I mean,
Legends deal just means that you're basically signing over your rights so they can make more money for you, selling your action figures and putting you in video games and shit.
I get that, but I'm just trying to, find a logical reason for it. And really, you're right. I don't see why he wouldn't just be on a Legends deal if he needed to step away for health reasons, whatnot, and things like that. So, yeah, that one kind of totally took me by surprise, too.
I was a little disappointed by that one. I really was. I was actually going to pull up the video of this, but I don't see a point in it because I think by now everybody's seen the fucking video. This is a shocker to me that Ric Flair was drunk in public. I know.
Don't say.
I mean, this is a guy who's found Christ again and a man who died and came back himself. I mean, here's my thing about Flair. And I said it with the last match. He wants to die in a wrestling ring. Now, I don't know if that part's going to be able to happen, but he tried.
Yeah, because I've seen the video where he talks about that too.
Yeah, the fact that you were that close to death already, where several organs were shutting down, and there's no U-turn from that, yet somehow he kicked out. And if you don't come out of that with a new found respect for waking up in the morning, I mean, that's a person that should never have another drink again after that. But damn, that ain't the case.
Right.
And not only that, I mean, the other shows have said that he still lives the gimmick, The gimmick worked when you were 40.
You're right. Not double that.
Yeah, you're 80 now, man. The gimmick's embarrassing. What are you going to try and... 60 minutes for the young ladies. Woo! Where's my dentures? No. No.
Space Mountain should have been shut down about 20, 30 years ago.
I don't get it. I just don't. It's like, dude, grow up. Gonna end up dead. And then the funny thing is, the manager of the bar, he's staying cool the whole time. I don't even know if he knew who he was, to be honest with you. It didn't seem like he had a clue.
I'm sure he knew who he was.
I don't think so. You gotta remember, not everybody's a wrestling fan. And he was a younger guy, so he might very well not know who Ric Flair is.
I don't know. I find that hard to believe, but okay.
Well, that's because of your age and you're a wrestling fan. But anyway, whether he did or not, he was being cool about it and just telling, dude, all we told you is we're cutting you off. We didn't tell you have to leave. We're just not selling you any more alcohol. You know how much I spent there. Here's $1,000 tip. I'm like, it don't mean shit. Why are you messing with this man for and all that? And then the other guy sitting at the bar who has nothing to do with nothing. Hey, you want to talk outside? I'll talk outside with you. And I'm like, oh, you're going to beat up an old man. You know, there's elder abuse laws in this country, man. You go to jail just for hitting them.
Right.
Unless he hits you first.
True.
Which, knowing Flair, depending on level of drunk, could happen. Missed a lot in the last couple of weeks. Oh, this was a story that made my heart glow. There's this guy, you probably heard of him. He's in wrestling, Dwayne Johnson or something like that.
Vaguely, yeah. I think I've seen a couple things about him.
He had a bad week. Lost 250,000 followers on Instagram, on social media.
What'd he do?
People finally saw what I've been saying. People finally have seen him for the fraud that he is. So if you don't know, everything he does now on social media is advertising for something.
Yeah.
And apparently he has his own alcoholic beverages, vodkas or something to that effect. I don't know because I don't drink the shit. And I certainly wouldn't buy his if I was going to.
Yeah, I've actually seen the commercials on TV now. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you're ahead of me then because I did not even know about it. So he does his own little, Instagram video with the cell phone, not in landscape, but in vertical, which I hate that shit. Going to an In-N-Out burger. Oh, The Rock's never had an In-N-Out burger before. Looking forward to that. Yeah. And he gets it on. And now we're going to take the People's Hamburger for the first time ever, and we're going to mix it with, and you see the two different bottles of alcohol to choose from. And I think we're going to partner it up with this one here. You know what? There's no reason why you can't mix the two together. And only little problem is 2 years ago, there was another Instagram video he did with the first time ever to Whataburger or Instaburger or whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
Same damn restaurant. So you're full of shit. And then a lot of people, like I said back in, a few months ago, when him and Oprah went out there asking for money for Hawaii, when the two of them have enough money to buy Hawaii.
Right.
And he had to come out with that piss-ass apology video. I hear you. No, you don't hear shit, buddy. And that's the thing. Everyone now realizes.
What?
One of the biggest running jokes for him right now is his new nickname is Rock the Ad Johnson.
Yeah, I've seen stuff on that too.
Everything he does is a promo for a product that he's either owns it or he's trying to get his name on it. One or the other. So 250,000 people said, I ain't following this fucker anymore. And I hope that number just keeps snowballing all the way down to zero.
I can't unfollow him because the stuff's too comical. I got to see the shit. So
whatever makes you happy, man. You might be the last one standing when it's all said and done.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, TKO, the fine folks that own both UFC and WWE, have a fighter, I guess. I don't watch UFC anymore. but I guess his name is Derek Lewis. I guess he's a pretty talented guy. Got a big win a couple of weekends ago. Got out of the octagon after winning and gave Randy Orton a hug. After that, there was a post, and Dana was asked about the possibility of any guys from UFC that might want to dabble in the WWE. Would it be allowable? Maybe they just want to do a SummerSlam appearance or something like that, based on the facts like guys like Ken Shamrock have done it. Brock Lesnar, of course, has done it. That other people, Ronda, have successfully transitioned and been able to breed. Would there be a conflict in the fact that that's not a true sport? And would that be held? And he said, look, it's fine. If that's what they want to do and it doesn't interfere with contracts or anything like that, I don't care. They're free to do. I didn't really care too much when Vince was still in charge and he was fucking me every chance he got.
Right.
And that was Dana's direct quote, basically. So I don't know anything about Derek Lewis, but maybe we'll be seeing him sometime soon.
Well, I just find it funny that NXT Battleground at the UFC complex there in Las Vegas. So,
and that was one of the things that came out of that conversation, the potential for having a weekend in that complex. So that one day it might be, I forget what other event they talked about, but one, like a Saturday would be a UFC, Sunday would be WWE, and Friday I think was something, but I can't remember what. I don't know. It's got to happen somewhere. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't know how many it seats.
Right. I mean, it kind of makes sense because you do have quite a few people that are fans of both brands. So why not have a weekend and try to get as much from them as possible? So
Claire being drunk is definitely strange, man. I don't know what to make of that. So on the same note, talking about potential, WWE or whatever working with UFC, and the mention was that UFC would be on a Saturday, WWE would be on a Sunday. So conversation seemed to be heading in the direction that after the Berlin premium event that WWE has upcoming, they may be moving back to Sundays on premium events. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I kind of like them being on Saturdays, honestly.
Me too.
Because I always hated to stay up late. But then again, they haven't been running very, very long. So 10:30, 11 o'clock, still not bad on a Sunday to get up and then go to work. But still, Saturday works 10 times better for me. And Tony Khan's now moved all his pay-per-views to Sundays. So why you want to go head-to-head like that? Not that it's like much competition. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no. I feel like I'm the only one that hasn't seen this commercial. Lisa's seen it. So if I see it one more time. Then again, here's the thing. I don't watch TV. I record it.
All right. So you fast forward. So.
I don't watch commercials. Life's too short. I can't tell you. I mean, the only thing I ever see live are the premium live events, and there's no commercials, generally speaking, in that.
Oh, shit. On Backlash, they had commercials during it. Like actual commercials.
With the whatchamacallit? What's the higher tier level of Peacock where you don't have the commercials?
No, these were in WWE programming. They were part of the show.
Well, that or I got up to get a beer or something. I don't know. I don't recall seeing any.
That you might have done, but yeah, they had a couple of them actual commercials during the actual show. It wasn't so. D-Train said slap boxing would be Fridays and the venue is
slap
small.
Boxing. So. Yes, that was it. Why that's even a thing, I have no idea.
Because people are idiotic enough to fucking watch it.
There's a belt in my hand.
Yeah.
Says, his first In-N-Out burger 5 times already. And that's the thing. People are all aware of it. And it's like, dude, we already got Hulk Hogan if we want bullshit. How much manure can we get out of our professional wrestling?
Well, before we go on further, I know we talked about Dwayne. So other news about that, in case you haven't seen it, did you see where Cody Rhodes had an interview and he was talking about the whole situation with WrestleMania and stuff like that and why he reacted to the way he reacted and shit when Rock came out and shook his hand and hugged him when Rock was supposed to take his spot and stuff. And he said, I was told that I was supposed to be happy about it, but I had just won the Royal Rumble and I'm not going to be. He's like, I'm a real person. I'm not going to be happy about something if you change it on me. Well, after that interview, all the Dwayne's cronies and writers and shit like that basically threw Cody under the bus and shit. And it's a big thing right now for that they did that and shit to him and stuff. So
I look at it this way. I hope he tarnishes himself enough now to guarantee he has no political career, because there's been a lot of rumblings. And
I know, yeah.
The thought of that motherfucker in the White House, holy shit. So I hope he's done enough credibility damage right now that his charm doesn't overcome it, because God knows it doesn't for me.
Yeah, can you imagine him ending like the State of the Union address going, if you smell what the President of the United States is cooking, and then raising the eyebrow. Where a laughing stock now will be even more then.
Well, the vice president would end up being Kane, too. So there's at least he's a Republican, but still. Oh, a match from last week, which I'm going to guess was probably for the Queen of the Ring, Bianca against Tiffany. Damn good match, despite the numerous botches.
Yeah.
And they were many. And they were bad. Very, very bad. But I keep looking at Tiffany Stratton, and I'm like, in 2 years' time, she is the heir apparent. She will be the Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
She's going to own it, dominate it. She will be the one.
Yeah.
If you can look that good in that bad a match, you've done something right. And they were both responsible. But I meant to put notes down as to what the spots were, but I thought I was going to do this like the next day, and then shit came up and whatever. So,
right.
All right, that's enough WWE. Let's give AEW an opportunity here to get on board. Now, the thing that keeps them somehow afloat, barely, is the fact that they have TV contracts and deals. Except for the one that they lost overseas with a company called VIX, V-I-X. VIX cited that they were not renewing them because of underperformance. Now, the next question is, yes. In other words, nobody's watching your shit. Now, VIX, we didn't know and still don't know for sure what the exact dollar amount is that they were paying for the rights to air this AEW content. But the reports are that it was about $150,000. In TV talk, that's nothing.
Right.
Commercial spots are more than that.
Yep.
They're telling you that for $5, I don't want your shit. This is where it's going to start to have the rubber hit the road.
Yeah.
Because you look at Impact. They only survive because they have the deal with Access, and they only have that because Access owns them.
Correct.
It'd be an interesting world to see how they would do if they would go to a WB or something like that and get away from Access, and if Anthem were to sell them to somebody like Scott D'Amore. Not happening,
maybe
I guess.
Not even, maybe not even sell them. Access could still own them, but just license them out to a network television deal. I think they would do great on a CW or something like that, you know? I think NXT is going to do great on CW, so.
Anything's possible, I guess.
D-Train is in the house.
Woo-hoo.
D-Train is in the house.
What's up? D-Train is indeed in the house. Yeah, Tiff almost came out of her clothes a little bit there, but shit happens. It ain't ballet, as they say. And if we're not talking about Nia Jax, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but when you see the still of it, like the still picture, and you see how Bianca's got a hold of it, I'm thinking, come on, you should have known better than to fucking grab her shit like that.
At the same point in time, why are you wearing shit like that?
Well, it's Tiffany, so we've had this discussion before. So
we have. That's right, and it's only a matter of time before it happens, and that's why we're all tuning in. But I'm just saying. All right, we're gonna talk some TV stuff here, and wow, we'll just start with wow. Catching up, looking at May 10th, starting with SmackDown of May 10th. Okay, SmackDown did a 2.128 million, and then the following week jumped up to 2.186 million. So they went up about 60,000 viewers. Not a bad deal.
Right.
They went up.
Nope. Going up is always good. I mean.
So they say. Then on Saturday, Rampage came along, as did Collision. And here's where it gets interesting for me. So Collision's the 8 o'clock show. You're going to have a bigger audience.
Right.
And by bigger, we're saying 378,000. I really have to pull the numbers for Impact because I don't think they're not getting at least that number, maybe even more.
They have to be at least getting 300,000, at least.
I'm saying, man, you guys are running neck and neck with Impact.
Right.
Now, Rampage, which comes on at 10 p.m. after that, dropped to 324,000. Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay, now we look at Monday Night Raw from the 13th of May. We'll call it 1.6 million. Just on the cuspus. 1.6 million. This past Monday, 1.73. Went up. Now we get to my fun one. And I don't know why we don't see more. I feel like Dynamite's always like, I'll see like 2 ratings for every other show. But I only have the one for the 15th, which was Wednesday's Dynamite. You want to take a wild guess? You know they've been running near the 800 mark. Do you want to take a guess what they pulled?
God. I'll say 750.
672.
Oh. Oh. That's like a proctologist examination there.
That's bend over and cough. 672.
I knew I was being generous with the 750, but Jesus Christ, I didn't think.
I still thought it'd be 7. And then to this week's Rampage Collision, which really is the way it should be called because it's a collision.
Right.
Collision at 8 p.m. Well, good news. It went up from 378 to 523. And also good news is Rampage went from 324 to 392. But these are still embarrassingly low numbers. Dismal, one may even say.
The next time we do this, you do need the numbers for Impact. Now I want to know how close they are to somebody who's on a small network and limited access as opposed to somebody with a national contract TV deal. Neck and neck with this smaller company. Why don't you just fucking pack your doors and just close shop and just fucking be done?
Because he's not done playing with his toys.
He might be if they lose this fucking TV deal.
He's got money. He's just going to keep on funneling dad's money in.
Where are they going to get in? where are they going to show the shows? Just YouTube? They're going to be strictly
the shows will still be on TV somewhere because he'll pay for it. I mean, there won't be any advertisers. It'll be commercial free. Let's look at what happened with their last Dynamite program, shall we? From 8 o'clock to 8:15, and we all know that number is thanks to the Big Bang Theory. And remember, they finished with a 672. They started with a 753, which I think is bad news for the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
They're normally good for a mill. But there are NBA playoffs going on. There are NHL playoffs going on, so you factor that in. But they started out with the 753, and they had what are you going to bring to the table when you have the largest audience you're going to have all night? And you know that if you've been watching the stats at all. So you have Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher against Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. Really? That's your okay. Let's see what that does to your number. Oh, down to 692. That was from 8 to 8:15. Now 8:15 to 8:30. Cobb and Fletcher and Danielson and Moxley bring them all the way down to 392. There's a post match with Take a Shit and Claudio Castagnoli. A recap with Adam Copeland, House of Black live angle, the Elite Jack Perry backstage. Oh, yeah. Give me some more Jack Perry. There's nothing that brings ratings up like that. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, I thought I wrote that in my notes. How did that not get? Oh, it's there. I just hadn't got to it yet. You know who the newest signee is about to be for the WWE, right?
I've heard a couple, but
no, I mean this is a legit big name.
Ricky Starks.
That's the name, Ricky Starks. I'm like, you stupid fucks. And I'm happy because he's going to get himself. He's already been injured pretty badly wrestling with this company. And it was only a matter of time before it was career ending. At least now he's got a reasonable chance of being amongst professionals that are trained properly.
And not only that, he's coming into a company where I could see a legitimate program work between Cody and him, and it would be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a ton of stuff going on. And CM Punk, CM Punk's big on him. He was big on CM Punk. Yeah. So I can totally see Punk giving him the rub and just, doing the job for him the whole nine, build him up, bring him to that point and letting him get the win and putting him over. I mean, they're going to show, like they did with Jade Cargill, like they're doing with Jade Cargill. They're going to show this is how you should be doing it. We'll do your job for you. You keep on sending us your people that you don't know how to get over.
Right. And we'll show you how.
You keep on taking our talent that we developed because you can't.
Right. Who we don't want anymore.
Well, I'll take a Ricky Starks all day.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is they take from WWE the ones that WWE don't want to use.
I don't know if I'd say they don't want them, but at the same point in time, it's like you've been around here for a minute. Maybe it's good to go away for a while. Hopefully you'll be able to still walk and come back someday.
Right.
All right. So we're at the 692,000 mark at the 8:30 hour. We go from 8:30 to 8:45. FTR does a backstage promo. Christopher Daniels, is he still wrestling? And Matt Sydal, go up against the Young Bucks. And that includes a post-match. From 392, we went up or we went down?
I'd say go down.
Well, you would say that because they went down 5% to 656. So nobody cares about the Bucks.
Right.
Big surprise there, but nobody listens.
I'm surprised it didn't drop more than 5%, actually.
Oh, give us time now. We're not there yet. Now, keep in mind, the Bucks went down. Just keep that in mind. 8:45
they went down, all right.
Well, 8:45 to 9 o'clock p.m. now. We got Tony Storm doing a backstage promo. That'll put asses in the seats. Malachi Black's backstage promo. That's a lot of promo. Hook versus Sebastian Wolf. Hook, I'm sorry, man. What's he, $185 on a good day? Chris Jericho does a live promo. There's an angle with Big Bill, who I guess is now under the learning tree. And Shibata, Swerve Strickland does a backstage promo. By the way, that's your champion, isn't it?
Yep.
So he does a backstage promo in the 9 o'clock hour. Okay, ratings with Tony Storm, Malachi Black, Chris Jericho, and Swerve went up or down?
Unfortunately, they went down.
They went up. A whopping 5%, but they went up.
So they made up for the Bucks. So they went back even.
That's my point. The Bucks went down. Tony Storm went up.
Should have been the other way around.
I'm just saying, your talent ain't the talent they think they are. 692 is where we're at this point. From 9 o'clock to 9:15, Brian Cage and Swerve Strickland have the time slot all to themselves with one ad break. Up or down? That's your champion.
Yep, and unfortunately, it probably went back down because of Brian Cage.
It went down 6%. Down to 652 from 692. That's your champion. Through no fault of his own.
Right.
It's Tony Khan's miserable booking.
Yeah, because you got to give your champion somebody that the people actually want to see fucking go against, not just some, I hate to say it, jobber that's from another promotion, ROH. What's he doing on AEW TV?
Well, not only that, you haven't done anything with your champion since he became champion. Cody.
Right. Right. No, I agree with that one. So,
I mean, I get they're not going to move him right into like the Rock angle. They can't because he's not around. You're not going to have another Roman angle. He's not around. Brock's not busy. Too busy at the moment to be joining them. But yeah, I mean, they could be doing something better with Cody than they're doing right now. And we're getting into SummerSlam season, so it will heat up.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at 652 now. Pretty close to the bottom of the barrel at this point. 9:15 to 9:30. Here's what you have to look at. Cage against Strickland continuing. A post-match with the Patriarchy. I have no idea who they are. Another ad break. I think the ad breaks probably bring them up. Hook, Shibata, backstage angle, Tony Storm against Harley Cameron. Don't know who Harley Cameron is, but boy, a name like that. Any guesses?
Where were they at?
9:15 to 9:30.
No, I meant the numbers. They were
at 652 with the Brian Cage and Swerve match.
I'm going to say they probably went down to about 630.
They went up 4% to 678. Apparently, the Patriarchy, a commercial, Hook, Shibata, Tony Storm against Harley, all were more impressive than Brian Cage against Swerve. I tell you what, I'd have nightmares if I was booking this. Well, 9:30 to 9:45.
If you were booking it, you wouldn't drop in numbers as you're going through your fucking show because you know how to pay shit out. I'm just saying.
Now, apparently in that last quarter, 9:15 to 9:30, Tony Storm against Harley was the last portion of that quarter because it bleeds into 9:30, 9:45. Continues along with ad breaks. We also saw Will Ospreay. Well, somebody saw, I didn't watch, but they saw Will Ospreay, Roderick Strong with a backstage angle, Willow Nightingale, Mercedes Moné, who still doesn't do shit. I think she did go through a table or something, I heard. Congratulations.
But she's not wrestled a match yet since she's
No, she ain't gonna wrestle. You think I got paid to wrestle? I ain't gonna wrestle with you bunch of fuckers.
Well,
I got business in the WWE to finish up.
Shit.
She's been on the payroll for 3 months and ain't got her hands dirty yet. So they were at 678. What do you think they're at now after having Will Ospreay, Roderick Strong do a backstage angle and Willow Nightingale and Mercedes?
6-6.
Not bad. 663. Down 2%. Eventually, you really can't go down much more, can you? That brings us to the 9:45 to 10 p.m. 9:45 to 10 p.m. We got Nightingale again. Can't get too much Willow, especially in your primetime slot there, your main event slot time. Monet doing the live angle, which I think was going through the table, if I'm not mistaken. Okada went up against Harwood up until 10 o'clock. Up or down from 663?
That was the main event, Okada and Harwood.
Seems that way. There is a little overrun time. We'll get to that separately, but yeah, it seems like that was the match. With a bloated roster that you have, that's your main event for the night. From 663, where are they now?
Probably about 590.
622, down 6%. Now, here's always the fun part, and I wish I knew for sure what followed them on Wednesday night this week. So they went from 10 p.m. to 10:12 p.m. Okada and Harwood match continued with the Young Bucks, Perry, Cash Wheeler, Danielson, and Darby Allin. I guess it was a scrum or something like that. I don't know. I'll just save you the time. It went up 2% to 634, which tells me whatever the fuck came on after this shit brought in a few extra eyeballs that said, what the hell is this?
That's what I'm about to find. TNT Wednesday.
Last Wednesday. That's the trick.
All right, Wednesday night schedules.
Another news article here up on WrestleNomics that I just saw before we went on. I thought it was interesting. The WWE is suing Texas Attorney General to prevent the release of bidding contract for Royal Rumble 2023. The WWE has filed a complaint on February 16th against Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, to prevent the release of an agreement between the WWE and the city of San Antonio. Releasing the contract would allow WrestleNomics to report on it and reveal information, including what the city government gave the WWE in exchange for bringing the Rumble event to the Aladome in 23. The WWE says the agreement is a trade secret. This is how we make Coca-Cola, and contains proprietary information that fits an exemption in Texas's public information law. No, motherfuckers. If it is a government entity that you are doing business with, their books have to be transparent. And you're stupid if you don't know that going in. And I'm going to guess that the Alamo Dome is funded by the government of Texas. Even though they probably have a corporate name on it. Well, no, it's called the Alamo Dome, isn't it?
I thought so, yeah.
Well, in that case, yeah, it belongs to fucking Texas. Taxpayers pay for it. So, yes, we have to see this information. Various records were requested by WrestleNomics from the city of San Antonio following the Royal Rumble last year that resulted in our reporting on the event's ticket sales, the announced attendance figure, as well as ticket sales of the 2017 Rumble, which was also held in the city. April 2023, city officials were granted an exemption from the state attorney general's office, which allowed them to withhold the bidding contract. However, the attorney general revised that decision on January 17th of 24. The letter written by an assistant attorney general, Michelle Garza, stated that the WWE has failed to provide specific factual evidence demonstrating that the information at issue is confidential under Texas public information law. That's the whole thing. This is public information. If you don't want it to be public, then you don't go to the Alamo Dome. You go to the Pepsi Center. You go to the Kia Center. You go to some place that is bought and paid for by somebody that's not the United States taxpayers.
So you want to guess what's followed Dynamite on Wednesdays?
What?
Fucking Modern Family.
Well, that explains why it didn't jump but more than 2 points. But that's still more, 2 points more than the AEW product.
Exactly. And that, yeah.
And Ancient Al Bundy is outdoor. Matter of fact, if they ran some Married with Children reruns in that slot, I bet it would do better.
I bet it would.
Oh, my goodness.
I couldn't believe it when it fucking pulled up. I was like, oh my God. I was expecting like Family Guy or some shit like that. No, it was fucking Modern. I was like, oh my God.
All right. Let me try and skip through some of these comments real quick because I know you guys have been posting, but when I'm doing this thing, I don't have a chance to kind of bring them all in at live time, but we'll touch on as many as we can here. If I miss you, I apologize. But again, welcome to everyone. Andrew Roberts, I don't know if I caught your name earlier, but if I missed you, welcome aboard. Let's see.
Well, while you're looking through the comments, I saw, and I wish I could have, I got to start taking notes because I saw a guy do a thing about AEW, and he said the thing that's hurting them the most right now is
Tony
that their
Khan.
shows. Well, yeah, I mean, but indirectly, it's the fact that he looks at each show contained. There's no story progression. There's no what happens on Collision.
There's no writing. There's no writing.
I know, but he's right. When you go and look at their shows right now, everything ends with that show and nothing moves on. So if you see one self-contained show, why do you need to watch next week's if it's going to be self-contained again? I just thought it was an interesting take on it. And I wish
there's something to be said for that. I mean, they've done some stuff. They did the Edge and Christian, but we ain't seen that 100 times in WWE. Why do we need to see it done in a poor man's show?
Right.
With a couple of guys who are geriatrics. Keith O'Toole says, anyone picking their choices to win King and Queen of the Ring? I'm going with Lyra. I really hope so. I was very happy to see her get the win this week. I do think that young lady's very talented. I've liked her in NXT. I enjoy watching her wrestle.
Right.
Who's in it for the guys who are our final two, or do we have the final two now?
I know we have Gunther. We have Gunther. We have Gunther for Raw. Tomorrow? Right.
So who's tomorrow? I don't know him.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody in the chat, let me know who the two are going head-to-head tomorrow. We'll get to that part of the chat in a minute here. So I'm going with Lyra, though.
Yeah, I was going to go with Lyra also. But I think I'm going to go with Gunther over whoever it is on Friday night.
I'll say that, too. I mean, whoever it is, yeah, I think Gunther definitely giving up the Intercontinental belt, hasn't gone after it again because bigger and better things. But God almighty, he better not put on a fucking crown and cape. They need to do what I did with the XWF there and make a belt for King of the Ring.
I like that.
Yep. Give him a belt.
I even would like, if they got a guaranteed title, that's at least something for it,
Yeah. Well,
maybe,
I mean, they always use it that way.
Away.
They don't announce it that way, but they do use it that way.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, announce
Randy Orton,
this is what the winners get.
I guess Randy Orton must be one of the two because Keith's picking Randy.
That's true.
I think Randy's at that point now. I think Randy's at that point now where he's going to win some good matches and then he's going to put guys over. I don't see him, as much as I'd love to see him get another title run, especially now. I mean, I was just watching one of those. There's so many different documentaries out nowadays on whether it's the biography special or whether it's the Rivals thing. And it was the Randy Orton thing and capsulizing his career from legend killer to today. And he talks about how, the drug abuse was really bad with him very early on in his career. Most of the time, guys don't get into that problem until, years of pain and medicating and all that. But he got into it very quickly.
Well, yeah, and he's went on record a few times saying that's why Triple H and Triple H went to him and said, or went to Vince and said, let me put these guys in a group. Let me take Randy under me so I can get him fucking straightened out. And Randy,
and he was also the one who basically sat him down and told him, you're going to piss this all away. And he damn near did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Lest anyone forget, he has 2 strikes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen Randy say that on quite a few different interviews. Said that if it wasn't for Triple H and doing that with Evolution and shit, he wouldn't be here in the WWE right now. So
Retro's going with Gunther. Neil Hooper says, your politicians are as corrupt as ours over here. Oh, buddy, I think we're better than yours, man. And I mean, like, we're more corrupt. Y'all just trying to catch up to us. We've been killing presidents for a long time, man. In the 60s, we killed one. Now they've proven it. Nobody wants to even discuss it. It's so nonchalant now. Nobody even gives a fuck that we killed the president. Listen to Keith over here talking about it like it's a real sport. It'll all come down to strength and conditioning. Definitely think Randy Orton's going to win.
If he does, I'll be surprised. I really will.
And that's something they need to do. We need surprises because when it becomes obvious all the time, why are we watching?
Exactly.
Is Becky on the... No, Becky's not. She's a champion.
No, she's the champion. Yeah.
She's a champion that couldn't beat the champion, so they gave her the championship.
To give it back to Liv. Who will give it to Rhea when she comes back.
Oh, well, I hope she's going to give it back to Liv. We'll see. But then why didn't you just let Liv take the fucking thing in the first place?
They like playing hot potato with their titles. You take it. No, you take it. You take it. Back over here.
Let's see. Gulak wasn't... What's this? Gulak wasn't doing crap, so honestly, don't mind him being like a... Well, he was doing a lot of stuff. He just wasn't doing it on TV so much. So he was a trainer in the performance. No, I'm talking about legit. He was in the performance.
Oh, it was legit, according to Ronda. I mean...
Oh, yeah. Nobody else has ever said a bad word about the guy. That's my problem. And Ronda has lost all... You talk about The Rock's popularity. Holy shit. Ronda Rousey. Girl, you're going to have to look up to see your skirt. That's how low you are right now. I was a fan. I stuck up for her even when she was being a bitch. I forget which fight it was. Oh, it was the one over in Brazil when she was still champ in UFC. And she kicked the girl's ass. And granted, the girl talked a lot of shit, but it's a fight. You're hyping it up. You do that shit.
Yeah.
Kicked the girl's ass. Afterwards, the girl came over to shake her hand, and Ronda just walked away from her and said, fuck you. And I was like, oh, that's dirty right there.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I still stuck up for her. I still said, well, you know what? She said some shit about her dad or something like that. I forget what the deal was at the time. But every match with her, it had to be ugly and personal in the UFC. It just, whether it was Holly Holmes, who had done nothing to her until she kicked the fuck out of her. But leading up to that moment, she had done nothing to her. And Holly's like, what's the animosity about him? We're professionals. I'm here to fight.
Yeah.
But Ronda had to make it personal. And this, so yeah, she's got a soft ego. And she legitimately hated the fact that fans booed her in the WWF or WWE.
I booed her.
We're supposed to just love the fact that, oh my God, Ronda's here. Yay. Which in the beginning, she got that. You know, when she made that first WrestleMania appearance coming in the ring with The Rock against Stephanie and Triple H, place went fucking nuts.
Then they tried to make it look like she could actually wrestle, and she couldn't. So.
No, she did very well in the beginning. She did extremely well in the beginning. It's the second
that's because she
one.
That's because she had 3 people fucking watching out for her.
That doesn't make you perform in the ring. That gives you opportunity to perform in the ring. Her matches were good. They started her out with a tag match, which is what you want to do. You don't want to throw her out to the wolves. They had the mixed tag match. It was a great match with her and Kurt against Stephanie and Triple H. It was a great match.
Well, see that, and that's the problem. Nobody's going to remember those. They're going to remember the second run, like I do. That was absolute shit.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, there's very few people in the world that can claim to have Muhammad Ali status. Where with Ali, I will always remember Larry Holmes' fight and how bad it was, how disappointing it was to see him go out like that. But I can at least remember the George Foremans and all the other great fights he had, the Frazier fights. I can remember all the other fights he had that were incredible. You know, losing to Leon Spinks, coming back and beating Leon Spinks. I can remember that. But at the end of the day, yeah, the thing that lingers to me is how badly he got beat up because he stayed too long.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing with Ronda. It wasn't an age thing. It was just a mental thing. She had checked out of wrestling.
Yeah.
When she had that kid, that was it. She had checked out of wrestling. Why she came back, I don't know. I get the money. I mean, what else could it be? Wasn't for a love of wrestling.
Well, I think at that point she was still under contract, so she had to come and finish the contract.
Yeah, they'd have let her out. She said, I don't want to wrestle. It's not like she was going to AEW.
I'm still waiting for it, though.
Nah. She is sick of wrestling and wrestling fans. I don't think you will ever have to worry about seeing that. They elevate Orton's status as king the same way they did with Austin 96 when he beat Jake the Snake. Yeah, I mean, Orton's not going to win. This is the era of Gunther.
Yep.
AEW doesn't need Lawler. I got news for you right now, Retro. If Lawler was on TV in their main event just cutting a promo, it would get higher ratings than Swerve. Fact. He could be out there talking about a match he had with Bill Dundee 25 years ago, and it would draw better rating. Oh, let's see. Yeah, slap boxing. I just don't get that. I don't.
We used to do that back here when we were drunk as kids.
I remember when I first saw it about 2 years ago on YouTube, and you had to look for it because it was only happening in like Poland. And you see these Polacks, these two big, thick neck fuckers getting out there and just go ahead and slap me. I'm like, what? And they'd have chalk on their hands, then they'd go flying up like LeBron, man, before a game. And I'm like, what kind of a stupid fuck are you that you're going to let this guy open hand whale you as hard as he can? Retro says the PLEs need to stay on Saturdays. Yeah, I agree. And as much as, you know, I'm no fan of the Saudi government whatsoever. And by the way, I hear they're not going to do. There's been a lot of talk about these post conferences, these post press conferences that have been taking place, especially with WWE,
right?
Because of some of the questions that have been asked of them are actual, real questions.
Yeah,
and they're either not happy with them being asked, or they're not prepared to answer them properly, which is on the fault of WWE. Before you send Triple H out there, maybe you want to let them know, hey, we just got a lawsuit. They're going to probably ask you about it. This is the correct answer. Because Cody handled it like a champ the same night.
Yes, he did.
And then more recently, Triple H basically discredited Sean Sapp during the last presser. Yeah. And afterwards then apologized. And Sean said, well, no, the apology needs to be very public, and, you know, a cheese basket would be nice as well. Sure as hell, they sent them a cheese basket.
Yeah.
So now Sean Sapp is officially the big cheese of professional wrestling. But again, it's like, if you're going to have a press conference, then be ready. Some of the fans are going to be in kayfabe, and that's what you kind of wanted. Some of them is to be fans. And that's where you got that little bimbo girl. What the hell her name is right now? Denise Sarcedo, whatever her name is. Salcedo. She's a fangirl. She's a fangirl. She's not a reporter. She's not a journalist. Right. But that said, when they go to Saudi Arabia, my understanding is they're not going to have any post press conference, because we all know what Saudi Arabia does to journalists in that country.
Yeah.
Sean said, I'm not going. As did the rest of the members of Fightful Select and every other network that ever covered wrestling. Oh, what else we got going on here? AEW needs to rethink their concept. Talent is not not completely there, and how they present it. So, how they present it's terrible. Fucking horrible. There's a reason you went from 1.2 million down to 600,000 in less than a year. And part of it is because you've got what was the TV show?
Modern Family.
Modern Family instead of Big Bang Theory. Neil Hooper says, all I see is a dying company with AEW, which is a shame. It started off so amazing, got too big too quick. I agree with you. It started out amazing. I don't think it got too big too quick. I think it got Tony Khan too quick.
Yeah.
Tony doesn't realize you got to borrow a phrase, you got to know your role and shut your mouth. Tony Khan's role is the money and hugging people that he always had action figures of. That's his role. Now hire some fucking people that know wrestling.
Right.
What else we got here? Collision needs to be canceled. It's that old thing. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it still make a noise? It's canceled. Look at the ratings. It's canceled. No one's watching it. That means it's canceled.
And even if they did cancel him, he's got a roster so fucking bloated, he'd be paying people just to be sitting on their fucking asses, which he does now with 3 fucking shows.
Just bring back Lucha Underground. If they do it like the first 2 seasons, I agree. If they do it like the 3rd season, we already got shit. MLW has always been good, in my honest opinion. Honestly, I won't say it's always been good. It was good leading up to COVID. I was a big fan. So, 19 into early 20, I liked them quite a bit. COVID killed a couple of companies. NWA died, and for me, MLW died. And they did a good job of struggling to stick along, though. They kept on in COVID times running some story angles with Contra and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, man, I just felt like, and then when they came back and they became Lucha Underground 2.0, I was like, no. That for me is like, Lucha was Lucha.
Right.
To me, it's the same as like XPW. You're not the ECW. You're never going to be ECW. You could throw everybody through every thumbtack covered board in the world. You're just not going to capture that lightning in a bottle because you don't have the secret sauce. And you can't have it. It's not attainable. Paul Heyman couldn't do it again today if he wanted to. That time came, it went, it's gone. And to try and regenerate it or regurgitate it more accurately, it's not going to happen.
The time, the place, the talent was all perfect.
It was. And the presentation. And that's with no budget. We talk about the AEW. You got more money than any startup company in wrestling ever. Imagine if David McLean had that kind of money. Glow Wrestling would probably still be on the air as Glow Wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, I'll always remember going to, was it Heat Wave 96 or 8 that was here in Dayton at Hare Arena. The show was fucking phenomenal, and you're right. Presentation was great, and it was minimal, and I'll always remember that fucking being at that pay-per-view.
Purist is here. Welcome aboard, buddy. Saw that Uncle Howdy WhatsApp message. I saw some during the show with the little QSR code popping up.
Right.
Apparently, it leads to another live stream on Twitch on Thursday night at 8 p.m., which is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Okay. We know they're getting pretty close.
Yeah.
They're going to be pulling the trigger somewhere. We know that Rowan's been re-signed, so we know he's part of it. As much as they're saying Alexa's not, I don't believe it. I think it's a swerve. I hope it's a swerve. But we'll all find out. And I have a funny feeling we'll find out, if not in Saudi Arabia, on the Monday after. I think we're right on the cuspus.
Well, and it's funny because Dexter Lumis just released a new picture of himself, and he's got this real tight, full beard now and shit, not just the mustache. So,
I guess that means Status has to get to work on that.
Yep.
Oh, all right. Well, there is an announcement I need to make going forward for WrestleChat, and that is that we have an official sponsor now.
What?
See, you didn't know. You didn't know.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, they bought
Don't
on the
tell me
show.
nothing.
They bought time on the show. So here we go.
So the way I see it, we've got to stand out from the competition. We've got to do something bigger, something better than everybody else.
Bro, I completely understand, bro. I'm right there with you, bro. We bring back the TNA that we used to do so well, bro.
You see, it's been done so many times in the past. We've got to make sure that we do something different. We don't want to see another version of Glow Wrestling with my name on it. My name's not David McClain.
Bro, trust me, bro. It's going to be totally different. It's going to be bigger, better than anything, bro, that we ever, did, before, bro.
If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. It can't just be you and I, all right? We might be two of the greatest minds of all time in professional wrestling, but it's got to be bigger. We've got to put the band back together again, if you know what I mean.
Bro, I'm right there with you, bro. As a matter of fact, I've already got somebody coming to join us right now.
Really? Who did you get?
The hell? Am I supposed to be the adult in the room? Is that what this is all about?
Good old JR. So happy to have you with us.
Triple H Wrestling. Have you learned nothing from the last 2 years?
I can tell you this right now. I'm going to be proven innocent. All these charges, they're made up. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one still standing when it's all said and done. When the smoke clears and the dust settles, Vincent Kennedy McMahon will still be on top of the world when it comes to the world of professional wrestling.
I really hope you know what the hell you're doing, because, quite honestly, I don't know.
Well, you're going to find out. Everyone's going to find out.
Yo, bro, I think, the best thing going, is right now what we got, going on here. You're right, bro. We got to put the band back together again, bro. And, that's what we're going to, do.
You have other names in mind?
Oh, bro, you know I, do.
Well, there's a couple I can think of offhand as well.
Well, then let's not wait here. Let's make it happen. Because within 2 weeks, I want Triple X Wrestling to be live. Take my stride.
There you have it. Triple X Wrestling is now an official sponsor of WrestleChat. That is the exclusive location where you'll be able to watch Triple X Wrestling. So if you miss an episode, you're going to miss an episode.
Oh, my God. Now you know we've hit rock bottom.
If you smell... No.
Fucking JR. Oh, my God.
Good times ahead, I promise you. Oh, lordy lord.
fucking purist.
Barbecue sauce, JR. How's the bro doing?
Bro.
Yeah, Neil Hooper seems to approve of our new sponsor. I'll let him know.
Oh, this is going to be rough.
What the McSham is cooking. Indeed. Well, I appreciate you all joining us for another episode of WrestleChat. It is now officially the home of Triple X Wrestling. The one and only place you'll see it. We're going to get Jay an oxygen tank. Is coming real soon. He might need it.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, I thank you all for being here, watching, and getting us all caught up on the last 2 weeks of the wild, wonderful world of professional wrestling. We'll be back hopefully a lot sooner than 2 weeks from now.
Right.
Still waiting. Work is an absolute nightmare right now. We've got graduations going on this week. We've got a concert on Saturday night. Soccer game. It's just like there's no time to breathe. And then my girlfriend, I don't know if I mentioned this part earlier on, but she's finally got a new job, so she's no longer working with me.
Right.
But that just means I am now doing her work and my work together, which at any given moment, I'm ready to say. The only thing kept me there this long is I felt obligated to her because I brought her onto my team. She left a job to work for us. And if I were to leave that spot, they would probably cut her loose. Now that she has finally found a job, I am any moment can just say, fuck you and walk away. So we'll see. I've had a couple of close to fuck you moments, but in the meantime, it's like I get home and it's like the last thing I want to do is get online and do it. That's why I haven't done anything lately. So hopefully things will settle down here in the next week or two and maybe some semblance of normalcy will return. I don't know, but if nothing else, I'll try and at least jump on for a WrestleChat once a week. I don't know about the other stuff in the near future, but we'll see what we can do.
Right.
How's everything going with you, Jay? Other than the torn shoulder thing, maybe.
I mean, school's a bitch, but it's good.
Okay.
Everything else is going pretty good and stuff like that. I will let everybody know that Vince, is kind of backing away because of things going on. But here in the near future, I will be putting out new content. But I held my word. I held to my word. I did not purchase 2K24. I won it, so no money came out of my pocket for it.
You won it?
So I won it.
From what?
Somebody on Twitter said, do this, this, and this, and put my name in, and I won it. So I have 2K20. No, so I have 2K24 now.
Wow, look at you.
All right. It's already crashed on me 4 times since the fucking DLC
that's it.
Came out.
That's the game. That's the game.
Yeah, so it keeps changing all my music for my people. But hey, I didn't pay for it. So, I'm in that same boat you were. So give me about between school and everything else, I'm trying to put something together. I'm hoping to have something out probably by the beginning of next month. So, here in the next week or so.
Yeah.
So we'll see what goes on. I wanted to put it out there that I did not pay for it because I held to my guns. So, that way I didn't get a bunch of people going, oh, you sold out. You said you weren't going to buy it. No, I did not buy it. I won it in a contest. So,
I'll admit that I did spend a couple of bucks on another thing, but I'm not going to tell you what it is right now. Eventually we'll get around to it. It's 2K related, but
okay.
Time will tell. All right, everybody. Well, with that in mind, I'm going to say so long here for WrestleChat. Say goodbye, Jay.
Goodbye, Jay.
Goodbye, everybody. I'll catch up with you real soon right here on another episode of WrestleChat, the home of Triple X Wrestling. Actually watched a little bit of AEW, not a lot. Just enough to remind me why I don't watch it. Oh, this is already funny. Just the headline. The list of moves and actions that are now banned from AEW or need to be approved by the company.
Maybe that's why Nash is pissed off, because he went for Brock and Austin and not try to duplicate him.
Well, it'd be easier to duplicate him. You only have to learn 5 moves.
Like you said, and we've all been saying, Tony Khan, you need a hierarchy, and he gets one, and then we make fun of it.
Because he's sitting back there talking about the Brock match, and it's finally we had a wrestling match. Finally, we got 2 guys telling a story. They weren't outside in the ring the whole time. One of them
was he not watching the same match as we were?
Yeah, those games, man. I would say, like, for me, like the best ones, I would say are like the ones where they try to get a certain like time.
This is my entire IT team right here on screen. Everybody.